I know that sometimes you feel like drawing with bananas. It happens to the best of us. You've got drawers and baskets and shelves full of a myriad of other art supplies like pens and pencils and paint brushes and markers and crayons and all this other stuff that was intended to be drawn with, but it just doesn't seem appealing sometimes. So you buy a bunch of bananas and you eat half of them and you end up drawing with the other half. Well, maybe it doesn't always happen to you, but it's not totally unheard of. Anyways, if this urge does start creeping into the back of your mind, this is what you want to do. Grab your bananas. They don't have to be perfect or spotless. They can even be slightly mushy. It might seem a little weird and gross if they've got a few of those weird soft spots, but I can guarantee you that it's going to get a lot worse as you proceed. The size of the paper you choose will depend on a few things. First of all, how artistically adventurous and ambitious you're feeling. The bigger, the better, some could say. Well, it's hard to make small, fine details with bananas. Secondly, how hungry you were before you began. That is, how many bananas are left over from gobbling a few down. The ones you have left will slowly get used up as you mush them together in your hands just by holding them and using them and pressing them against the paper. Anyway, so get some paper, put it on the wall, put it on an easel, or just have it on your desk or your lap, or you don't even have to use paper. You can use the refrigerator or just the blank wall or someone's back if they're asleep, or anything you can think of, really. And I used some ink. I concocted 2 mugs of the stuff. One mug was twice, it was like half diluted by water, and the other stuff was just the pure, strong black ink. And so I kind of used for most of the drawing the half diluted stuff, and then later on in the drawing I went back with the black dark stuff and made some I guess they're not highlights but dark lights. I don't know all the words, but that's wonderful. That's okay. You don't have to know big words or hardly any words actually to do this. You just have to take some bananas, dip them in ink, and start slathering the ink all over something. It's pretty great. As is usual for me when I'm doing these weird doodles, these formless drawings where I'm not drawing anything in particular, it took me a few minutes to get into the swing of things, to feel the flow of the drawing. But once I did, I started really enjoying it. I started using like the different parts of the banana in different ways. You can use the tip to do some finer, draw, more lines that you're used to. And then if like the banana breaks in half, for example, you can, dip in that weird wide flat part and start stamping little patterns everywhere. Or you can get the whole side of a long chunk of banana covered in ink and start stamping patterns that way, or slathering wide swaths of ink everywhere, and I guarantee you it will get messy. I put down some craft paper on the carpet. For some reason I was working over carpet. My whole apartment is carpeted, and I'm glad I put down some paper because I got almost as much ink on the floor and on my feet as I did on the wall. On the paper on the wall. And I also got some ink on the actual wall. I think this ink is slightly water soluble. The stuff I use, some sort of weird Japanese calligraphy ink. You can use literally anything. You could probably use paint or do whatever you want. Yeah, always do whatever you want when it comes to art. Don't let anyone tell you how to make your art or what to make. Even these how-to videos are less of me telling you how to actually make it, but more just showing you one way that it could be done in the hopes that you might get a little bit encouraged or inspired. Some ideas might get dropped into your head. You can look at anything for ideas, but maybe this will help. So I will say there's one thing I did start worrying about after I had completed this drawing. The fact that I was slathering more than just ink and some water onto the paper, but also really squishing a lot of banana-y goo onto the paper the whole time. And I've been keeping a close eye on it. I haven't noticed like a recent influx of weird fruit flies or even like fruit bats or anything, thankfully, but it also hasn't started smelling weird. Been a couple days now, but still, I didn't think about that till after I was done essentially slathering fruit all over a piece of paper for art, but I probably should have thought about it. But no, maybe it's better that I didn't think about it. Sometimes you shouldn't think about art too much. Just do it. Just go do it. Just go draw. Go make something. Don't use bananas. Find something else to draw with. Just because I said, yeah. Just go make something. Go make something now.